Today, I'm going to be showing you guys exactly what to expect when coming to Florida State. How's it going? My name is Ashton, and recently there's been a huge topic that's really been on my mind. So all week, my phone has been blowing up with a bunch of news about Florida State admissions coming out. And if you're watching this video right now, I'm going to assume that you just got accepted to Florida State. So congratulations! You're now in the same boat as this guy. And little does he know that life is about to hit him like a truck.
Wait, what?
When I was in high school, coming to college was all I ever dreamed about. I would make a bunch of new friends, have unlimited freedom, and really live out that perfect college life in my dream school. I mean, come on. Just look at this. This shit was a match made in heaven. I mean, I would watch endless videos from the best college YouTubers about just how good Florida State really was. And after seeing all these kids living out my dream life, I promised myself that I would do whatever it took to have the most legendary college experience. I started to think that I would spend all my time going to football games, joining the amazing parties, watching our basketball team win, kinda, and really live out that crazy college life just like they did in those videos. But once I actually got to Florida State, I started to realize very quickly that this place was nothing like I thought it would be. I mean, I had no idea where I was going on campus, so I was constantly getting lost. Nothing the tour guides told me turned out to be true. And I had no idea how to make friends yet, so I spent most of my weekends looking like this. I started to realize that there's a hidden side to Florida State that nobody ever talks about. And after seeing the darker side of this paradise on earth, I started to question if this was even the right place for me. And that's why I'm here today. I know how stressful adjusting to college can be, so I'm here to tell you exactly what to expect at Florida State so you don't end up looking like little me. So usually when you think about Florida State, most people think about the parties, the Greek life, the handsome YouTubers. Ah, see what I did there? But there's a huge part about Florida State that nobody ever talks about.
This place is, it's full of traditions. Huh? Get it? Because it's Traditions Hall in the garage. I know you guys probably don't get that joke yet, but I promise once you get here, you definitely will. So when it comes to traditions, Florida State is one of the most historic colleges out there. I mean, you have the obvious traditions in the football games, like the Seminole Chop, Chief Osceola, and Florida State's newest tradition, me going around and ranking everyone's game day fits. And I mean, this one hasn't necessarily caught on yet, but just trust me, I'm working on it. But besides football, we have a ton of other things that make Florida State stand out, like having classes in HCB, saying hello to Miss Killings, and one of my favorite traditions, throwing all your buddies into the Westcott Fountain on their 21st birthday. And I mean, this one can get really interesting. But with a bunch of super unique traditions mixed with that classic college campus, Florida State is one of the best colleges for that traditional college experience. But as awesome as it may be here, it's also pretty freaking cold outside right now. So I'll meet you guys back at home for our next point. Hold on, watch this.
Well, hello there. So before you even commit here, please fill out your housing application as soon as possible. And I know I've talked about it before in other videos, but filling out your housing application is so important to do. And I mean, to be honest with you guys, when it comes to housing, there's a huge secret I've been keeping this entire time. I've never lived in the dorms. And I know you're probably thinking right now,
"Oh, Ashton, how can you make a whole video on dorms if you've never lived in one?"
And you know, that's a very fair point. But I mean, just hear me out. When I first got into Florida State, I was super hesitant to fill out the housing because I didn't know if I was going there for sure. And because I waited to fill that form out, I wasn't able to get a single spot in the dorms. But I'm gonna let you guys in on another little secret here. You don't have to be committed to Florida State to fill out their housing. I know. It's some pretty crazy shit. Housing applications usually come out about a week or so after decisions, so nobody really expects you to have your stuff figured out within such a short amount of time. But whether or not you actually end up coming here, I highly recommend filling out that housing application as fast as possible. The earlier you fill out your housing application, the more time you're gonna have to pick out the perfect dorm you wanna live in, and you have a less likely chance of ending up with a weird roommate like this guy. And if you have no idea which dorm you want to live in, I made a whole video going through the pros and cons of every single dorm on campus. So if you want to go check it out, it'll be right here. Shameless plug, as always, go check it out. So now that you have all your housing figured out, you're ready for the moving process, baby. Which brings us to our next point, packing for your dorms. And let me just tell you, packing for your dorm is a lot easier than people make it out to be. I know that when you first come to college, you have no idea what you're gonna need every day. So it's super easy to just pack a bunch of stuff from home that you may or may not need one day. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, half of the stuff you bring to college, you're never gonna use. And your room is literally gonna be like this big. So I mean, there's not a lot of room to put your stuff. What I would do is only pack the essential things things that I knew I was gonna use, like cleaning supplies, clothes, some accessories, and a few little things that would always remind me of home. I mean, at the end of the day, packing less is gonna save you a ton of space in your room and a lot less time in the moving process. And if you're looking for super easy ways to live stress-free in the dorms, I put an Amazon link down below to all the dorm essentials that have literally saved my life. So I mean, you should definitely go check it out so you don't end up like this guy. So once you get all settled in your dorm and say your final goodbye to your parents, you're ready to live out that perfect college experience, baby. But before you go out there and start living out your best life, there's still one crazy beast out there that most Florida State kids never learn how to conquer.
And that's the party scene. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, obviously, when you think about Florida State, you gotta think about the parties. So it's definitely something that's a little hard to avoid at first. I mean, for the first few weeks, every little freshman loves to go out every night, go crazy, end up on bar stool. But after about the first 2 weeks, all the partying comes to an immediate stop because everyone around campus gets infected with the infamous tally plague. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, all around campus, people are walking around with the ugliest coughs. Cold medicine is literally sold out everywhere. And if you're a germaphobe like me, you start to avoid everyone around you. So I mean, it's definitely not a good situation. And speaking of germs, I'm starting to feel all the nasty here. So I'll meet you guys back home with our very last point.
Thanks, Ashton. So I know that when I mention the party scene, a lot of people out there get super excited. But if you're anything like me, hearing about all these parties is a little intimidating. But at the end of the day, feeling either way is totally fine. Florida State is filled with students from a million different walks of life. So as long as you put yourself out there and really embrace your true self, I guarantee you that you're gonna find the perfect crowd of people out there for you. And whether you end up at Florida State, Stanford, or God forbid the University of Miami, as long as you stay true to yourself, this advice is gonna be the same anywhere you end up. I know that college can be full of uncertainty, and at times it can bring on some of the hardest moments you'll ever have. But as long as you embrace this uncertainty and follow all the stuff we talked about today, I guarantee you that you're gonna turn out way better than this guy.
Oh, dang it. Someone call a fire truck.
So with that being said, if you guys found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I do respond to every single comment, so if you have any other questions or video ideas, make sure to leave them down below. I do have a playlist of everything you need to know about college, so if you want to go check it out, it'll be right here. And if you want to join the family of over 3.6 thousand subscribers now, you can click right here. And yeah, that's it for me this week, guys, and I will see you guys next week. That's really been on my mind. Oh, voice crack. And really live out. Oh, and really live. Oh my gosh. But what the f?